bit about us. Yeah, I can tell they had a rough week.
Yeah. End of the week.
Y'all had a crazy week, huh?
Oh, wow.
Not too bad.
How was y'all week, ladies?
My week was good actually. What did I do? I didn't do anything special. I just went to work and praise report. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
praise report.
what happened is I had work today. And do you know the lady, the real BB Judy?
That's something.
You remember with the kaleidoscope edges and stuff like that on Instagram? You know what I'm talking about? Does nobody know?
I mean, it sounds familiar.
Okay,
I
well, she's
don't
like a
know.
celebrity hairstylist, and she like does the kaleidoscope edges, and you know she gets your edges.
So
growing.
she gets your edges right.
Okay,
Or get them
basically.
rolled.
So
Okay.
she gets some growing.
Okay.
And so I waited on her today at Papados, and her bill was $94, and she left me $104 tip.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
that's
I
great.
said,
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
blessing
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
beyond. I said, and it was a slow day. Like it was busy at first, but nobody was walking out of the restaurant with no
Yeah,
cash.
that's awesome.
So I was just like, well, it's good to be blessed. with
Snacks on
holiday.
you. Snacks on you tonight,
I know,
huh?
that's wonderful.
Literally.
Chips and dips on you tonight.
Okay. What about you, Miss Kim?
My week was very good. What I did? I was about to pay for some food today because I was at Kima, and I was like, I don't feel like paying all this money because the prices are so much. But the
You
lady,
saying Kima?
but the
yeah.
lady,
Kima can be expensive.
But this lady that was with us during the camp, she was like, I'll pay for your food. So I got some fries, I got this big old milkshake. And so I was like, she was like, I'm gonna give me a milkshake too. I was like, okay. She was like, thank you just for being here. And I was like, oh, thank you, you're welcome. So I got me a free meal. So I was so happy with my life because I didn't want to pay all them prices.
Sounds good. That's great.
Because that price would have been really, really expensive. Okay, so what's going on this weekend? I know next week, Kim, tell us who you're gonna be interviewing next week.
Ashley Nicole Black from a Black Lady sketch show.
Sketch show. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a chance to go to the screening.
You did at
with
New
the
Orleans, right?
Essence Festival. We got a chance to go to the screening of the a Black Lady sketch show. The show airs tonight again, second night. Tonight on HBO at 11 p.m. All right.
Sounds
Make sure
great.
you guys check it out. All black cast.
Sounds
Okay.
great. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations on the interview. That's awesome right there. And
Add
I'm
me to your resume, girl.
yeah. So I'm going to this Saturday. I'm going to the Christian Outreach Ministry International Divine Encounter with Jesus Conference. It's going to have a panel of different speakers throughout the Texas region. They're going to be speaking about the power of Jesus Christ. So I'm excited about that.
Right.
I got invited last year, but I couldn't go due to conflict in schedule. But I'm excited to go. If you guys want to come out, it's going to be at 10:30 tomorrow morning, 10:30 to 1 over at Crown Plaza over there on South Main.
Okay.
Crown Plaza, Houston, South Main.
Oh.
Oh, right. You know what they say, right?
No, I haven't. Oh,
yes,
please.
please.
Sorry, I went to the luncheon on Monday. It's the Inner Circle Conference starting at my church at New Life Christian Church, and they're honoring Patty Smith, who's Emmett Smith's wife, and they're honoring Eric Campbell, and I think a few more people that they're honoring at the luncheon.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. There's a lot of interviews right there.
Yeah, knock a couple of them out while you're there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to today's topic, where men hurt, and we have some special guests in the building.
What's up?
Give it up
What's
for our
up?
guests.
What's up? What's
we
up?
have Mr. Andrew Landry.
That's
He's
me.
actually the author of Where Men Hurt, and we also have one of my I want to say classmate, but he's not a classmate, but we go way back in the entertainment industry. Mr. Anthony Johnson, how you doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's going
Thanks for
on?
having me.
All right, so before we get started, we want you guys to tell us your one blessing of the week. I know I told you guys that you guys are gonna share your blessing of the week, so one blessing.
And make it one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know how to.
We like to thank the Lord for walking. We like to thank the Lord for the eyesight. We like to thank the Lord for everything we see. Make it one, okay?
Look, I'm married, so I can follow instructions very, very well. All right, so my blessing for the week is, this past week, I hosted my very first Where Men Hurt men's conference at the Lighthouse Church in Humble.
Oh, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did that go? How was that?
It was amazing, man. We had about 50 to 60 men show up, which is very rare in our age and our culture. So it was great. Great topics, great panelists. We just had an amazing time.
Oh, well, that's so awesome. I heard the promo earlier. I was like, uh-oh, he's
Yeah.
doing something else.
Yeah.
Perfect timing with the promo, though.
Absolutely.
What about you, Anthony?
Actually, my blessing for the week was an opportunity to be on Blessed Beats.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
yay.
awesome.
Seriously.
That's awesome.
It just happened so unexpected. It was a surprise, and you know, as you mentioned, Denise and I, we got some history.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
back a bit, and it's hard to catch up with her because she's on the go and we're
Right.
doing this and that. And so, when she mentioned this opportunity, I'm like, yes, gotta support my girl. So that's my blessing. for
Well,
the week.
thank you so much. I
Oh,
really
yes, that's
appreciate
really
you guys for coming. All right, so we're going to jump into today's topic. But before we go into today's topic, did you want to
Did I want to do what?
scripture of the week or anything?
Scripture of the week. I didn't have a chance to get a scripture of the week, but yeah, I guess we can just dive into the topic.
Okay.
Why are men hurt? Where are men hurt? Go ahead and give us the synopsis first
Of
there
your
we go.
book.
Of
Yeah.
your
All right, so originally where Where Men Hurt came from is I wrote a book called Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has. The book is topically about sex addiction. The story of the book is about hope and redemption. So out of that, after I wrote the book, I was in prayer and God gave me, he gave me the scripture, Revelations 12:11, which states that, they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of his testimony. And one of the things that he shared with me in my quiet time was that men don't really have a safe place where they can go and talk about real life issues in a non-judgmental place.
Yep.
And so that's what birthed Where Men Hurt. And so with Where Men Hurt, we meet at a barbershop in Humble every other Monday night. And men come out and we talk about real life issues. I mean, everything from domestic violence to, lust or relationships. And so out of the Where Men Hurt mini sessions is what I call them, we launched the Where Men Hurt Men Conference, which was held last weekend at the Lighthouse Church.
Okay, awesome. Now I know this is how Anthony got on the show when he saw the posting about the show.
Right.
He said, "Oh, we have an organization at my church that talks about that. Tell us about that organization."
Yes, ma'am. You're right. That's a perfect follow-up to, because we do a similar event at Windsor Village in the KBC Kingdom Builders Center. Name of the organization is called KIRM, K-I-R-M, Keeping It Real Men.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
good. I like it. Yeah, I like that.
And it sounds like every bit of what the title says. Basically, exactly what my man just spoke about here. We open up. We're a very transparent group of godly men. We come together and we talk about life issues, and we create a safe zone, sanctuary, if you will, for men to just really open up and talk about the things that's keeping us from progressing, whatever it is that's impeding us in life. We open up and we talk about it. So, when you come to this, we meet every Thursday at the KBC, right at 6011 West Orm. We're actually about to start back up again this month, and it'll keep going all the way through about June. And, when you come with an open heart, open mind, and be prepared to be blessed.
That's good that
Absolutely.
you guys have those platforms available, because a lot of people don't know about these platforms. So I'm
Right.
glad that you guys both have a platform for that.
Absolutely.
And one question that I keep getting in my head: why do so many men hold a lot of things in? Why do you think they hold stuff in?
Well, I think it's two primary things. One is we're not in relationship, right? So a lot of times, and mostly culturally, we weren't raised with our fathers, right? So the instruction that we get as men usually comes from the pulpit, and that's not really relational. So typically, most men in the church don't really have a relationship with their pastor. So it becomes instructional, as opposed to relational. So when we are able to meet in groups, we're able to build relationships, and then from that we can start getting to a place where we get comfortable with each other and to be able to talk to each other about the issues that we deal with. So I think that's the primary thing.
And that's true that you said that about a lot of guys don't really have a relationship in church, because when you go to church, it's mostly women at church.
Right.
It's not really that many guys in church, so that's good that you guys are doing that.
Right.
And you mentioned in Humble, because I live close by Humble.
Okay.
And shout out the barbershop that you
It's
guys.
It's Master Headquarters Barbershop. It's on 1st Street, 1502 East 1st Street. We meet every other Monday night from 7 to 9. I bring in some food so we can have, a lot of times guys are coming from work, so I bring in food so we could eat. About 7:15, we dive in and we just hit it right from the beginning, just start talking about real life issues. Once I kind of share my story, then it kind of lets guys open up, and I'll share that a little bit later.
And on the website, I noticed the picture. That's one of the pictures that I have on the post. Is
Right.
that one of your meetings?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the Monday night meeting, so we always close out with prayer. And it's just an amazing time to not only have an opportunity to express the things that you're going through, but to be able to come together and unify that with prayer. And so you'll always see us praying.
So I have a question. So, you know how you said that a lot of men don't have outlets and things like that.
Right.
But where do you think the problem stem from, like from the beginning, to allow men to think that they don't have an outlet or they don't have anyone to talk to, or they have to hold things in, if that makes sense?
A lot.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, attack it.
That's actually, we've covered that, talked about that a lot in our recent sessions that we've had. That's kind of a loaded question, but a lot of it is generational. It's been passed down, particularly, it's somewhat of a cultural thing. Men have been reared, steered from boys into adulthood by their grandfathers, by their fathers, by their uncles, that for some reason, we're supposed to be these, bulletproof vessels that can just hold everything in. And you don't open up, you don't.
But who made that up? Like as I was driving here and I was thinking about the topic and everything, I was like, well, who actually just said, like, it's okay for you guys to talk to people, and it's okay for you guys to be able to, like, I understand that men have a lot of responsibility off top. Y'all have to be the one to take care of the home. Y'all have to be the one to take care of your children. Y'all have to be the one to take care of your mothers when you don't have fathers, and y'all have a lot, but who just said that you have to, if that makes sense?
I don't know that I can maybe specifically pinpoint a certain person, but what I could probably say, just based on the research I've done and talking with other men, that feedback, it's come from a combination of this whole Western civilization mindset of what a man is supposed to look like, talk like, speak like, and kind of something that Brother Andrew mentioned, when you're out of relationship with God, out of relationship with the church, you don't have the proper blueprint of what a man is, and that, be comfortable with speaking your mind and speaking on more vulnerable topics. So we've adopted these concepts from, the whole John Wayne mentality, cowboy mindset, be tough and be able to keep it all in, and tough guys, we don't talk about it. A lot of times it's just something as simple as that, and it's been passed down from generation to generation.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I'll say is, when you think about it, if Johnny at 3-year-old falls, everybody's saying, get up, don't cry, right? But if Susie at 3-year-old fall, everybody's coddling her and, oh baby, it's gonna be okay. And so men have developed that I have to be tough.
Right.
And speaking out about where we are is a sign of vulnerability.
Yes.
And we don't want to be vulnerable until we're at a place that we're really whole. And because we're not whole, we don't become vulnerable. And so I think it's the cycle of you be tough, and what you teach a child is what they're going to do as an adult, right? So if you teach your children to count 1 to 10, they'll count 1 to 10 the way it's supposed to be done. But if you tell them to count 1 to 10 and you say 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, 7, 3, 10, if you teach them that consistently, that's what they're going to do. And I think that's the issue with why men suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Do you think in the near future there'll be more men speaking out?
I think now with the kind of the introduction of the celebrities starting to kind of be more vocal, I think it's kind of giving men permission per se to feel like it's okay, right? So what I do is I talk about my life and my struggles, and so now people feel free to express, because their stuff may not seem as bad, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think definitely there's some positive reaction.
And as you start having more groups like this, like the ones that meet in my church, the events that he does, as these become more public and they're promoted more, it's giving men the permission to break down those barriers and come out and just simply open their mouths and talk.
Absolutely.
That's what we want them to do, is talk, because this silence is like a cancer, and it's killing our men, particularly our black men, and yeah.
That's awesome. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're talking about Where Men Hurt with author Andrew Landry and one of my good friends, Anthony Johnson. If you guys have an organization that help men to speak their truth and without being silent, call to the radio station. Let us know about these organizations. The number here at the station is 713-487-9855. Once again, the number is 713-487-9855. You can also reach us on Instagram at the Not So Christian to Me Show. Send us a message. We will answer your message on air. Coming up next, we're going to take a little quick break, and we're going to talk some more about this topic because this is really a really big topic, and I know a lot of people on social media has been contacting me regarding this topic on the different reasons on why men struggle in that area.
So, one of the things that I was thinking about, even when you were talking about that, is, when you talk about different platforms, is that we don't, because we're not relational, we don't really have those opportunities, or we don't feel like there's opportunity, and it's kept so quiet. And so the initiative that Where Men Hurt is not just a humble initiative. We're looking to do segments around the community, and then looking at county, and then statewide, and then to where we have a global initiative to where not only the men in Humble in that area can be healed, but you got men in Montana that need to be healed, and men in Maine that need to be healed.
Right.
And so it's trying to start at a grassroots and grow it organically, so that we can have a place for men everywhere.
To where it's like a staple.
So, can I ask a question? So, when you guys started this out, how did men take it? Like you said, you created a safe space. Or a lot of men excited and they were willing to come and open up and talk to you guys, or was it like, I don't know?
Well, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Actually, I came in as a member. The ministry that I'm in, it was already established.
Okay.
And I found out about it through another guy, black guy, who happened to mention it. And I just decided to check it out because I felt like, again, for the very reason that we're here, it's a great outlet. So when I came, they were very receptive to me as I was them. And it just grew from there. And it's become this safe zone where we just come and
let it all out.
pretty much bare our souls and
Yeah.
talk about it in ways that you wouldn't expect the stereotypical man to do, but it's so necessary.
Right. And for me, mine was I don't do mine at a church, right?
Okay.
So because a lot of times you get that church stigma. So I'm not going to get some people that's dealing with certain issues to come to the church, but they'll come to the barbershop.
Period.
Right.
Gotta get your edge in there.
The barbershop. So we meet at the barbershop, and kind of backdrop of my story. So when I was 3, I was sexually molested by a lady that was close to the family, and that happened for about 3 years. And then from 6 to about 16, it happened again, but this time it was with a male. And so for 10 years, I was sexually abused, or whatever words you want to use, by a male that was close to the family. So that caused me to develop some addictive behaviors. So that's how the sexual addiction came about. And so then I wrote that in a book. And so now there's people that's dealing with things that may not seem as bad to them. And so when I share my story, they're like, oh, well, what I'm dealing with might not be that bad, so let me share. Or what happens is somebody will say, man, I'm dealing with the same thing. What did you do? Or how did you overcome? Or what was those steps? And so now we have that commonality, which now allows us to begin to build that relationship. And then once we build a relationship, now I know when I struggle with something, I know somebody else is struggling with it. A lot of times we think we're the only ones. And so I may talk about my sexual addiction, but David, he may be dealing with domestic violence, or Paul is dealing with, his dad didn't love him, so he doesn't know how to love his wife.
Yeah.
And so now, because we're interconnected, now we're able to share those stories, and we build that relationship. So now I have somebody that I can use as accountability partner. So when I struggle with issues, then I can call my boy and I say, hey man, I'm struggling with this, and he's like, okay, let's pray about it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the premise of what we're trying to accomplish. around the horn.
Yeah, and I think that's so amazing. I actually, like, it makes me excited to hear you guys, you know, come together and y'all are able to talk about your feelings and things like that, because men don't do that.
They don't.
Right.
They don't, and
They don't.
and then you meet a lot of men that are mean because they're angry about the things that have happened in their past and all of those things like that. Now, you said one thing that stuck out to me. You said that you were molested,
Right.
And which is crazy because you're not the only man that actually has gone through that, but
Right.
nobody speaks out about it.
Right.
And recently on Twitter, well, I was just scrolling through Twitter the other day, and I was looking, and these two girls were fighting, and I was like, what are they fighting about today? And so what happened was the girl, she kicked, it was just crazy. It was a crazy visual.
Right.
And I was like, what is going on? And she was saying how her 13-year-old cousin, how she let one of her friends stay with her, and they were like in high school, I want to say, about to graduate. But she let her friend stay with her, and she had sex with her 13-year-old cousin and made him do things that, you know, he would have normally not have done. And how, and then the conversation was how men actually go through this a lot. Like, men are molested at a young age, and that's how, because I'll talk to different people, and they'll be like, yeah, I lost my virginity at 8 years old, I lost my virginity, and I'm like, wait, what? That's not normal.
Right. Yeah, it's a very taboo subject. One, because a lot of times men are embarrassed, right? It's embarrassing, right? And so now it kind of takes away from your masculinity, but we don't really realize that the true healing comes in our vulnerability.
Yeah.
And then, one, you know, that's why the title of the book, Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has. You don't have it if you don't say it, right? And so, because we want to address that topic, then we get residue from that topic that affects other areas of our lives, and we don't realize that it's coming from the root. One of the things I tell the guys is, a lot of times when we're trying to heal, we deal with the symptoms, right? So if I got a cough, I'll take cough syrup, but I don't really realize the cough is because I got an ulcer. So if I fix the ulcer, then it'll fix the cough. And so we don't fix the root, we just kind of manage the symptoms.
I like how you put that, because a lot of people do that.
Right.
I like how you broke it down, because that is so true. We never get to it's pretty much the core
Right.
of the issues that you have, and a lot of people ball it up, or like they call it back in the day, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that are just tuning in, we're talking about Where Men Hurt with author Andrew Landry and one of my good friends, Anthony Johnson. If you guys have an organization that help men overcome their fears and speak openly, call them to the station. Let us know about your organization. The number here is 713-487-9855, or you can go to our Instagram page, The Not So Christian and Me Show. We're going to take a quick break. Up next, we have Love by Kirk Franklin on the all-new Blessed Beats Radio. All right.